And we're back. Coming at you live from Hollywood, California, Sunset Boulevard. Looking out the window, we see all kinds of crazy shit.
That's true.
But the sun is shining and the birds are chirping and the air is smelling sweet-ish.
It is. It is. It's particularly sweet today, isn't it?
Sure is.
Because you know why?
Tell me.
As we record, it is our buddy Trey's 60th birthday.
Woo! We made it.
We made it.
Hallelujah.
40 years of Phish, 60 years of Trey. Let's go for another 60 more.
At least.
Yeah.
I think he's got a chance. You know? 60 years. Woof. Wow. I love it. Well, thanks, Trey. I don't know if we could say that enough. You really, you did it. You gone done it. But don't ever think about passing no torch, all right?
No.
Don't be passing any torches around yet.
Speaking of torch passing,
Yeah.
you see Billy Strings. This kid was born today.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What are the chances?
I know. Same day? Was it today?
Today.
Trey and Billy Jr. Bashir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Has he passed the torch before?
I don't know. Wasn't there some sort of torch passing situation?
Was there a torch passing ceremony?
There might have been. I feel like it was more than a year.
More than a year ago, he passed the torch to
The Honkers?
the Honkers.
Honkers.
Where do we start? What's new?
What a week of fun things in LA.
Last week,
Oh, yeah, last week.
you had fun.
I had a great time. I sure did. I mean, I went out for dinner with friends. I saw 2 concerts.
Yeah.
One of them was very highly reputable band in the jam band industry.
Right.
Up and comers.
Yep.
Or they've already gone up and they keep coming.
They're climbing.
Yeah. I mean, same venue as a year ago. So
Like climbing that far.
I guess they haven't gotten that far, but
Yeah. We went
you may have guessed.
to Goose.
Yeah. We saw Goose. And
Friday night.
Friday night.
Greek Theater.
Greek Theater.
Los Angeles, California.
The weather was perfect.
It was perfect. It was their 10th anniversary.
Mhm.
And when I mean they, I'm sort of like loosely talking about like basically Rick and the bassist. It's not really they because it's less than half, but you know,
So the Rick and that mullet guy,
Rick and the stoic.
who's actually pretty good,
You know, a quick aside, MVP maybe.
possibly MVP. Like he
was throwing some bombs.
like the only, yeah,
Wait,
not only,
don't say only.
yeah,
Not yet.
yeah, not yet. He definitely added a great little vibe. He had good vibes.
He did have
on
good
that
vibes.
on that stage right. He was just hitting it.
He was over there. He was making all sorts of them deep grooves.
He was grooving.
So we went.
We went separately.
We did go separately to the Goose.
Yeah,
Um,
cash for trade.
Cash or trade
came
from the
through.
wind.
Cash for trade.
Really just saved everyone's hide, goose hide.
Yeah, it's for the non-committal fan, right?
For the fans that wait till Friday afternoon to buy tickets.
Or the fans who buy tickets and they're like, nah, not really gonna get it.
I'm not going. Yeah, we went. See, the reason we went separately is because so many people like Goose that we were pulled in 2 different directions, weren't we?
Totally.
We discussed going to Goose together, and due to their extraordinary popularity, we ended up going separately because there was just many large, enthusiastic groups of people that couldn't wait to go to the Greek to see Goose
With us.
with us.
Yeah. And weren't really interested in our honest opinions either. But we'll get to that.
You don't want to yuck anyone's yum.
No,
You don't
definitely
wanna
not.
hurt anyone's mouth.
No, of course not.
It's not what it's about.
I mean, I just kept getting asked, are you having fun? Are you having fun? Isn't this amazing?
So the thing is, we've been hard on Goose for the last bit. And I was standing there, you know, watching Goose perform. And I was thinking, oh man, you know, we've said some things and, you know, maybe we haven't been as open-minded and, you know, I'm just like feeling a bit bad that maybe we, you know, been too hard.
For sure. We went in open-minded. We've always committed that if they're going to play in LA, we're going to go.
We're going to go.
We're going to go there with open hearts, open minds, minimal inebriation.
Sure.
So we can fully,
soak it in.
Soak it all in.
Soak in the goose pond.
Yeah. Just go for a swim.
And there was a point in the evening when I thought to myself, everything we've said and everything we've joked is 100% deserved.
I agree. I mean, they played 7 songs in the first set. Every one of them sounded almost exactly the same. But I don't know if it's like Rick's tone or his voice or the chords or the tempo or what it is, or a combination of all these things. Because they're not all the exact same song. Like they stop and everybody cheers.
Yeah. New one starts.
And then they start
Here we go again.
And there was like one song, I think, where they actually like jammed a little bit in the first set. And I was like, ooh, yeah, okay.
Echo of a Rose.
Was it Echo of a Rose, or
Did it sound familiar? Was it one you'd heard before?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I've heard them all, apparently. It might have been. I don't know. I was not sucked in at all in the first set. And that one jam that they were doing, and then they like ripcorded it and went into something else.
Big Modern, who I was with, was like, this is their new like jam vehicle. They've been like taking this one for a ride, buckle up. So I did my seatbelt on, I locked in.
I think I was like eating a grilled cheese sandwich, but I could hear the show.
It was actually one of the most pleasant parts of the evening, was sitting out and eating fries. Yeah, and they kind of got going into something in this Big Modern, but then like boom, ripcord right out of it.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
And I think we've talked about it before. Like, I've seen the same band inside and outside of LA. Not Goose. I've only seen Goose in LA, but like it seems as if when some bands, i.e. Phish, come to Los Angeles, there's a different set of variables,
pressure's on,
that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Executives, ex-side pieces, current side pieces. I don't know. Just like
there's a lot of play.
There's a lot of play where either you fold or you flourish. And really until the Phish played the Hollywood Bowl, they were like buckling a little bit under the pressure at the Forum for a couple years.
B-minus shows.
Yeah.
Across the board for a lot of years.
Yeah, for a lot of years. And I don't know if this necessarily happened to Goose because I have nothing to compare it to.
Okay.
Because I don't listen to their music. So I don't know exactly, like, was it better in San Diego when they were playing on some college campus and it was just a bunch of drunk frat boys?
Yeah.
As opposed to playing at the Greek in Hollywood, and there is all these booking agents and old people. There was a lot of old people there.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed there was a lot of old people.
Yeah, right in front of me was 2 old deadheads.
Yeah.
Like big old burly deadheads.
And I was surrounded by like people in their 60s, 70s who were, I guess, checking it out.
Checking it out, like cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just checking it out.
I think the LA crowd is different, right? It's like nothing really phases an LA crowd. Like everyone in LA feels like they've seen it all before anyway. So like you really have to deliver. I like to get a rise out of anybody.
Much more critical, I'd say, crowd, because there's probably a lot of musicians in the crowd. There's, industry people who have high expectations. And did they call it the crowd being like, at one point, you guys are like, or was that the concert I saw the night before? I can't remember. It seems like a constant thing where like musicians will be like kind of calling the crowd out to be like cheering a little bit louder. Like, they hear you.
Requesting. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Okay. But they did so happen in the second set to play one of my favorite songs of all time,
which is
Eminence Front.
Okay.
I mean, if you can play Eminence Front, if you can pull that off, which they were like maybe like a 7.9 out of 10 on the coverage, even then, like that song is so fucking good that it's hard not to be like, yeah, grooving that.
Yeah, because we spoke at Set Break, and I think we did a pretty good job of knowing what we were thinking without saying it out loud. There was a lot of people around who were having a good time.
Yes. And I didn't have a bad time.
I did not have a bad time.
I had a nice time.
I had a perfectly nice time.
You know?
Company,
Yeah.
vibes, good music, good music.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer to see Goose probably over like 98% of the bands that are playing on any other given night.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel like it's original.
Yeah. So like what I was going to say is like we kind of joked like maybe in the second set because we'd heard all summer long we're getting these like 4-song second sets. So, and really it did the second set did buckle up and I think delivered a lot more than the first set.
Yeah, like Dripfield
Sure.
is fine. It's a fan favorite. I thought it was some other song, but I don't know. But anyway, Dripfield, I know sort of what that I recognized.
Arcadia was pretty good.
Yeah, but Yeti was good.
Yeti was good.
I like that because it's like a little bit, it's fun, and they're like doing something a little bit different. Like there's like a little more energy. There's a little more like, feeling to that composition and like it's fun.
Look, I love a cover. So you're talking about The Who.
Mm-hmm.
But did the sensation when you get like a little like puke in the back of your throat, did that happen to you during Pumped Up Kicks at all?
I mean, no.
No.
It was fine. It
was fine.
I love when bands cover other bands.
Me too.
Especially if it's a song that I know and love.
Totally.
And it feels familiar. Like the first time I ever saw Phish, the only 2 songs I knew the whole time were Sexual Healing and Sabotage. Those are the only 2 songs I knew that night. But like, I didn't think that every other song sounded the same because they all sounded different.
I mean...
And I get it. We sound like deadheads in 1993 who were like, fuck this fucking weirdo Phish band who does weird shit. And like, I feel like those deadheads probably like Goose because the Dead had like a very consistent sound.
Easy vibes.
Right? And accessible music where it was like very Americana, kind of like blues and, like approachable.
Yeah, except their songwriting is like timeless. Like, the differentiators.
They were more groundbreaking in terms of like the sounds that they were creating, the progressions that they were coming up with. They were doing something that nobody had done before. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like Goose sounds like Spafford. Goose sounds like every other jam band that's come and gone with zero, like Twiddle and all these, like Rick's voice sounds like, if you close your eyes, every other jam band that didn't do it.
Yeah, like, the analogy, like I was thinking, like they have so much. I mentioned this to you earlier, but that it felt like kind of like ChatGPT, like spit Goose out, right? Because like they have like the posters and the T-shirts and everyone's like stoned and like they like it and the lights are in my eyes and the music we they go and then we're peaking and we're peaking and we're all looking around and we're high-fiving each other because like the song's peaking and then like it stops and like it all happens. Like everything on paper is there. Like they do it all. Like they're good musicians, they got catchy songs, the fire and light show's pretty good actually. If anything's really a standout, it might actually be the lighting,
but that could just be like AI.
But whatever, it could also be AI. But like, there's no heart and soul. Like, it's all technically proficient. They deliver everything. They have good posters and good T-shirts and good merch and good stuff and good snacks and good seats and good venues.
Yeah.
But like,
no gray hair.
It's like, what? I felt old. Like
cool outfits.
Yeah, Super Mario had a cool outfit on over there in the corner. Like,
yeah.
The new drummer had a glow up. And they're all good. Like, he had like a cool sweater on and like an earring and like you really like he got some of that Goose money in and like decided to get polished up and like I was just like I'm happy for them.
I wonder if they have like a what's it called? Who picks their clothes?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Stylist. The drummer looked like he had been styled
for sure.
That's why I kind of am teasing. Like it looked like someone had been like, oh, you're in like a band now that's like touring.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to make you look like a cool drummer. and here you go, you're going to wear these things. That's like what I thought. And, you know, like, I just was like, I don't get this. Like, I am too old. Like, this is like some Gen Z shit that I don't get, because it's all there. Like, it's for the TikTok generation. It's there. It gives you exactly what you need. But like, you don't earn the payoff in the jam. The jam just starts peaking before you even fucking know it. You're just like, oh, we're already at this part where there's this like extraordinary payoff, and I'm just supposed to like relish in the excitement. It's like, we didn't even do anything. You didn't make me earn it. Like, there's no... I don't get it, Jack.
I don't get it either. Like, I understand if you, like, think Rick is hot and, like, Pete is your type, or, like, you know, you love I don't know. I just don't know. It's, like, so mundane.
Yes. Like, it's hollow. Like, nothing's happening. Nothing happened.
And like, Rick, when he solos, it's like good.
Yeah.
It's good.
But something's missing.
Something's missing.
That's it. It's like something's missing for me.
Yeah, for me too.
And you talk about the Grateful Dead. I mean, obviously everyone knows we love the Grateful Dead, but it's like those songs are iconic, and there's so much heart and soul in the music, even if it's just like a blues gig, right? It's just like a bluesy song, like Southern rock. It's not, there's nothing, Jerry's not like chasing a peak. There's nothing happening, but there's like heart and soul.
Yeah. But also, like, the Dead's composition was so much more complicated. Like, like the other one, or any of even their slow songs, like, they're all so written to be played in such a complex medley, menagerie of different instruments, like, coming together and creating this sound that is so appealing to the ear. Their voices, their harmonies, like, everything is unique at the time. Whereas, like, there's not one fucking thing that Goose does that is unique of this time.
Other than, like, a synthesization of everything that's come before, which is like how art works. But it's like, that's why I'm saying it's kind of like ChatGPT spit it out. It's like, let me look at what everything did, and I'll just like give you like what bubbles to the top.
Yeah.
Light shows, posters, guys on guitars.
Should be named after an animal. You should have a really kooky guy on stage.
Kooky guy.
You should have like a real silent fucking type weirdo.
Silent bassist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have a real fucking good looking, appealing, you know, pretty sweet singing lead guitarist vocalist. And you should have some wild ass looking drummers.
Wild ass drummer. And a percussionist, because like, hey, you know, it worked for Mickey and it worked for the Allman Brothers. Like, let's get a percussionist up there too to just
build it up
every 7 fucking seconds.
Get that tambourine out.
Yeah, like
shake your money maker.
It's like, okay, great. And he plays the guitar now too, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like they have been, you know, like so molded by the powers that be. Because the first time that I saw them at the Troubadour, Pete touched the keyboard for maybe like half a song. He had like one little keyboard. He was on guitar the whole time.
Yeah.
They were like dual guitar band. Mm. But I guess I think we've talked about this, you know, where like the powers that be came down and said, if you guys want to be famous,
yeah,
Pete, you got to go to your room.
You got to learn how to play piano.
You got to get on YouTube.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to play piano.
Yeah.
And he's pretty good.
He actually is.
Yeah.
Pretty
he's gotten good. He's even better than last year.
Totally.
Even better than last year for sure. Like, they are committed.
They're all very proficient.
They're committed to their craft.
They are.
Unfortunately, their craft just doesn't appeal to me.
Me neither.
But I'll go back and see them again. Maybe.
I guess.
Yeah, if they come back to LA, I'll go see them. I mean,
I probably will too.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Because, like, you know, it's a fun night.
I had a fun night.
It's good vibes. You know, everybody there has got their, like, croaky on and their sunglasses during the show and cargo shorts and just feeling the flow. And I just took it all in.
I had a good time.
I had a good time.
Something missing for me, you know? And I was trying to, like, open-minded, and I was trying to catch myself. And every time I made a joke to make myself laugh to my own self, you know, I was like, that's not fair.
I know. Would have been better. I think next time we got to go together.
Yeah. Well, then we would just be... I was surrounded by chompers, number one, but we would be chomping.
We would have so many chompers.
Teasing. What was up with? Were there more chompers than normal? Like, or was I just already irritated that this whole thing was stupid?
I don't know if there was more chompers than normal. It just seemed like there was a lot of chomping going on.
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of? This occurred to me. Like, you know, I'm going to like paint this with a broad brush, but like, you know, like in high school, you like might have had a girlfriend that like really liked Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
You know? And she would like maybe drink a little too much and get like all sappy and they'll be like, we need to listen to Dave Matthews. We need to, you know, like that vibe. Like Goose is like the TikTok generation's version of like that school girlfriend that really likes Dave Matthews. It's so digestible. It's so like, and I'm not saying that Dave isn't good. I'm just saying that like, it's so approachable and easy. It's like easy listening. And it's like elevated to the next level. Like Goose is obviously totally different than Dave, but it's still like really easy and like gives you exactly what you want in like 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
I think a huge draw is there, other than Phish, which is not super approachable.
Hell no.
Right? Like
No.
if you don't know Phish and you go see them, you're just like, what? I think the scene and the vibe of like, it's not a pop show. It's not like a rock show. It's like a jam band vibe is like very like butterflies and rainbows and like fun and nobody's, you know, angry. Everybody's like having a great time. And I think that's very appealing for a lot of people who are like, they don't fit into like the going to see like a rock and roll show or going to see like, I mean, it's similar to like the indie pop vibe, but maybe the music is like a little bit less jagged. You know, like a lot of indie rock is like a little more jagged,
Like
noisy.
less.
Yeah, like less fluid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas like Goose, you have this like similar hippie vibe, lot, show, crowd, like everybody's like full of love and light.
Everyone was so friendly.
You know, and the music is like approachable chord progressions with like a good looking dude who's got a good voice.
Yeah.
Right. And his like couple of sidekicks that are up there just like smiling.
Yeah. Smiling and supporting him.
Yeah.
And just keeping it together. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
They've got the formula, like the ChatGPT formula. They filled this void of like, okay, my wife does not want to go see Phish because it's too fucking weird for her.
Been there.
Right.
I know what that's like.
And the Grateful Dead are old.
Yep.
And they're not alive.
Yeah.
And like, sure, there's Dead and Co. and that's great. Like, very good for wives. Yeah, you know, it's weird. Like, they had a really good run the last 8 years or whatever it was. But like,
JR60 is going to be big.
there's 365 days in the year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We need
Like, there's something else. There's got to be something else to fill that cup.
I was in a row full of moms with husbands in tow.
Yeah.
The moms were vibing hard, you know, sequin jackets and such.
Yeah.
And I like exactly what you're saying. Like they were like so excited to be there.
Yeah.
We talked about Phish, you know, they were into Phish too, whatever.
Yeah.
But like they were really vibing on the Goose.
Yeah, I had like moms with kids around me.
No.
And you're going to be able to tell your kids that you saw Goose.
And
Yeah.
the Greek.
Yeah, you saw Goose of the Greek. They're only going to get to see them at like SoFi in like 2048. The lore is building.
Well, that's the other so you said, I don't know if it was a good show. You know, you said I didn't compare it to the, you know, the night before in San Diego, I went on Twitter and a few other places. Reddit. No, there's no Goose
on Threads.
And I can confirm that there was a lot of enthusiasm for this show.
There was.
You know, it's their 10th anniversary, and according to the powers that be, social media jam band scene,
Yeah.
this was a show that people loved. They loved the songs that we loved. They loved, you know,
Every other
felt like they delivered and they would write poetically. You know, your buddy there wrote something in jam bass.
Right?
Yeah. And, you know, like, and again, it's like this, you know, poetic, like, analysis of this show, you know, like, so the wheels are
I
spinning.
know. We just
right?
don't understand.
Jam Base is selling ads and people are writing words and we're tweeting about how extraordinary the show was. Like, there was engagement and it gave the people what they wanted. Like, it seemed like Goose fans got what they wanted from that show.
I think there was like a bust out or something. Like there was some song, I don't know which one,
Sure.
that like everybody.
Darkness?
No, it was like near the end, like Arise maybe,
Sure.
where like people around me were just like they were like jump hugging
for like a year.
Yeah, like it was like a Forbin had just started.
Yeah, but it was literally like 1 year.
Yeah, okay,
But sure,
a year gap. That's pretty good. I mean, they play a lot of songs.
they do. They're busy boys.
Yeah, they're in like the Phish, like 94 zone. Phish 94. Yeah, like they'll play like an arena or two, but mostly like sheds and
park
meters.
I've heard them play a couple parks,
theaters, and like 3,000 to 8,000 person venues.
Well, I'm just telling you that I like validated on social media because it's like I had that same question. Like, is this, is this what they do? Like, did we get it? Like, did we get a good show? Like,
and we did.
And I think we did. I mean, according to the internet, it was a solid representation. So, like, however we're seeing it, if we're missing something, maybe it's just not there.
But another interesting look onto the internet would be, has Goose ever played a bad show?
Never. That's what you actually reminded me what my point was. Is that, like you said, the lore, right? Every jam is the jam of the year. Every jam is over 20 minutes. Every, like all this stuff that like kind of came up in what felt, at least to me, maybe because I was naive, like in an organic way through like the Dad and through Phish, like these sort of things you celebrate, like, oh, the Tahoe tweezer or whatever. Goose literally has like in everything. Like there's already a name probably from the Greek theater, the Greek fucking Dripfield, like, oh, that's, like every show they play, like they attach, like it's one of the jams is like just like a mind-blowing jam of the universe, okay? And like instead of like picking and choosing these moments, like we can skip years of Phish on tour and not find something worth rehashing, right? Like that's magical. But like the scene really seems to like lean into the like, we want to make lore. You use the word lore. Like we want to make Goose legends. They played a legendary show with a legendary jam and a legendary light show and a legendary fucking Bliss jam out of the whatever. And it's like, give me a break. Like relax.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Well, I think that might taper off over the years if they just keep doing the same thing.
And how can they possibly keep it? There's too much enthusiasm. Like I'm just like missing something. I feel I'm missing something.
Yeah, but like a lot of the people that are into it are old.
Well, then we're just dicks.
It might just be you might be onto something with the Dave Matthews thing, like how like a lot of people who like Dave are also into Goose.
I think like it's a
similar approach,
soft
attachment.
Jam, yeah, it's like soft rock, like elevator jam.
Yeah, like nothing's going too dark.
No,
nothing's going too light. They're just kind of like in the gray zone where it's a safe place, where you're not going to like burn people off and be like, ooh, that was too weird.
Totally.
And you're not going to like burn people off because that was like too not in your genre of jammy.
And like to think, I think maybe you and I have somewhat similar approaches to Phish, but, I can only speak to myself is like, I chase those wild moments, right? Like I like extremes. There's certain things about my personality that are drawn like a moth to a light when it comes to like, extremes. And like, we've make fun of lots of Phish shows for not giving us that like 150% insanity. And then also, when we do get those moments, it like we just find them intoxicating, when they just really like break your brain. And I was thinking like juxtaposing, to another band that we talk about is like King Gizzard. And I'm not saying that one is better or anything, but King Gizzard definitely does the exploration, right? Like you go like, I don't know what this is and I don't think I like it. Like it's really noisy or it's like heavy metal or it's like, I don't even know what's happening. But then other times you're like, I don't even know what I'm hearing, but I kind of like it. Like I want more. Like you have there's a curiosity to it and like a playfulness and an experimentation. It like doesn't land half the time for me. But then other times you're like, holy shit, man, like they really like made something happen. Whereas like Goose is like 2 sets of perfectly digestible music.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It has no rough edges. It's like a river rock, that's been like just like pleasant to hold in your hand, I guess. But like, is it interesting?
Yeah.
Smooth,
easy,
accessible.
No weird smell.
No weird smells, no barnacles, you know? It's like smooth. It's like elevator jam band music.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. You know, with all these other jam bands that have come and gone, one thing I actually did notice, just to change, I just was reminded of something. There was a song in the first set, I'm pretty sure, that I was like, is this a Sound Tribe Sector 9 cover? It was just like so, like they had this like very synthy like beat going. It was almost like they were trying to push out of their zone, and I was actually kind of into it. I think it might have been, I don't know what it was, but they did do some, like they reminded me of different jam bands in different songs, and one of them is Sound Tribe Sector 9, which was so, that caught my
because it had like the disco like kind of like drum line a little bit. Like,
yeah,
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like at one point I was like, this doesn't sound like Goose. Is this a cover? It might have been a cover.
Anyway, I don't know if I have anything else to say.
Me neither.
This was left perfectly entertained, but
not really wanting more.
Not wanting more.
Yeah. Same. We'll digest it for a little while longer. Maybe we'll talk about it again and never.
All right.
But it'll probably come up.